Luigi. Ha ha!
Oh, no! Oh, no! No! Ah! No, 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 no! Oh, ah.
King Boo! King Boo is a tricky oddball character who is all about utilizing a versatile set of tools to control the battlefield, all while scaring his opponents into making mistakes they wouldn't normally make. With his unique characteristics, King Boo is capable of pushing zoners out of their comfort zone, all while also possessing options to keep rushdown characters from getting too close. But while he might be able to do multiple things at once, his ability to rush down and play a ranged game are not as strong as characters who focus on one or the other. On top of that, King Boo might struggle to finish his opponent off unless he lands one of his very few kill options, which might make him a bit predictable, much like your average Boo. As a King Boo player, it is up to you to methodically break down your opponent's defenses and challenge pokes with your long-range attacks, making them double-guess and fear your options like the terrifying Spectre King you're meant to be. Just be sure you don't end up being your own greatest weakness. King Boo is a large, rotund character, his size and width being similar to that of King DDD, as he is just as wide as he is tall. While he might be a floaty specter with a slack jaw, King Boo is surprisingly heavy, being labeled as a heavyweight alongside the likes of Wario and Snake. However, while heavy, his fall speed is very slow, leaving him as one of the slowest falling characters in the game alongside Jigglypuff, which also plays into the fact that Boos float through the air in order to approach and attack. As a character, King Boo is being designed to be an encompassing representation of the Mario enemy he's based on, much like how Piranha Plant is a culmination of many different species of Piranha Plant. However, like Bowser, King Boo also has a plethora of abilities that are unique to his character. So on top of familiar Boo-based attack strategies, the Spectre King will stand out with the use of magic and his unusually long tongue. In terms of mobility options, King Boo has 2 jumps, along with the ability to crawl by swimming through the ground, much like Boos have been shown to do in the Mario series. However, while he might only have 2 jumps, King Boo introduces a brand new jump to Smash Bros., which is called a hover jump. With this, King Boo will be able to ascend through the air as the jump button is held, allowing for free-form aerial movement while recovering. But while said aerial mobility is incredible, King Boo cannot attack while in the middle of this jump, meaning the player must release the jump button before being able to perform an attack. This jump will take some getting used to, but when mastered, you'd be surprised how effective it is at helping King Boo edgeguard his opponent. While his unique jump style is unlike anything seen in Smash Bros., it's not the only ghost-like ability that King Boo can utilize, as the devious Spectre King also brings along with him a brand new type of shield, or rather, a lack of shield. Endearingly referred to as Bashful Disappearance, King Boo will perform the iconic Boo face cover as his body goes transparent, allowing for all incoming attacks to pass straight through him much like an actual ghost. This will allow for King Boo to bypass a lot of shield-shattering attacks, including Marth's Shield Breaker and Bowser's Bowser Bomb, along with grabs, which is one of the most effective ways to counter a shield, but all of this comes at a substantial price. In comparison to the shields of other characters, King Boo's shield will only last about 75% as long, while also taking 35% longer to fully recharge. So while it's very strong overall, it is designed so that it cannot be abused. It should also be mentioned that, while he will be able to bypass incoming attacks and opponents can pass through him, King Boo will push opponents back when he cancels his shield, so he can't be instantly jumped the moment he becomes visible. Long story short, Jigglypuff won't be landing any free rests against the likes of King Boo. King Boo's normals mainly comprise of 3 different forms of attack, these being magical abilities courtesy of his crown, full body tackles much like your average Boo, and his abnormally long tongue, which can be used much like that of a sword thanks to its long, disjointed hitboxes. Also, as he is the king of his species, King Boo can also call upon other Boos to attack and overwhelm his foes, for why should you have to throw out attacks when you have loyal subjects to do it for you? This is made evident through King Boo's neutral jab, Royal Decree. With this, King Boo will call upon a pair of Boos to tackle and assault his target with powerful disjointed tackle attacks. For an endless combo, one of the Boos will rapidly spin the other in place, cackling as the caught opponent takes rapid damage. To finish the combo, King Boo will unleash a spark of energy from his crown that will launch both his foe and the 2 Boos away. For while he's many things, King Boo is certainly not a benevolent ruler. King Boo's forward tilt is Tongue Lash, King Boo swinging his tongue out in front of him in a hooking motion that will knock foes away upon contact. The first of his many tongue-based attacks, this attack is an excellent poke that can catch mistakes in the neutral, all while its disjointed hitbox makes it excellent for winning trades. King Boo's up tilt is Rising Scare, King Boo raising an arm up and summoning a wave of smaller Boos that will rush up from the ground, dealing damage to nearby foes and popping them up into the air. This quick attack is one of King Boo's best combo tools, and once the attack concludes, the smaller Boos will fly into King Boo's form and become a part of his body, showing that the Spectre King always has many subjects on standby. King Boo's down tilt is Tongue Flipper, King Boo sticking his tongue out straight before flicking it upwards, hitting both on the initial tongue strike and the tongue flick before the opponent is popped off the ground. Much like his forward tilt, this attack is an excellent poke and can be used to punish errors in the neutral, but thanks to its low hitting hitbox, it might be able to help King Boo catch get-up options from those holding onto the ledge. King Boo's dash attack is Boo Charge, King Boo flying forward and smashing into his opponent with his full body, dealing damage on contact and not stopping for anything, even shields. This move sports impressive power and knockback, but since King Boo uses his full body as his weapon, it puts him at considerable risk if his opponent blocks the attack. For even though King Boo won't be stopped by shields, the distance he'd normally travel will be cut down noticeably if he comes into contact with an opponent while attacking. For his get-up attack, King Boo will have 2 Boos spin around him in order to knock opponents back, all while rolling onto the stage for his ledge attack. King Boo's smash attacks are all designed to perfectly complement his long-range poking tools, giving the Spectre King powerful and punishing attacks that can catch opponents off guard from a distance while also giving no damage penalty for their range. King Boo's forward smash is Tongue Hammer, King Boo flipping forward before slamming his tongue into the ground in front of him, dealing heavy damage and launching his foe upon contact. A reference to one of his boss moves from Luigi's Mansion 3, this is one of King Boo's strongest attacks, but while it's a great kill confirm, it's slow on startup and even slower on the recovery as King Boo will slurp his tongue back into his mouth once the attack concludes. King Boo's up smash is Crown Lightning, King Boo using his mastery over various forms of magic to summon forth a massive bolt of lightning from his crown, this strike dealing rapid damage before the opponent is launched with substantial force. This move has roughly the same vertical distance as Palutena's up smash, although its horizontal range is substantially weaker as King Boo uses the move directly above himself as opposed to doing it right in front of him. However, while it might be tricky to hit opponents beside you with the attack's initial strike, the final launching zap will cause King Boo's crown to emit a burst of electrical magic around it, which will launch all nearby foes with the same amount of force. Finally, King Boo's down smash is Tongue Sweep, King Boo rolling his tongue up into his mouth before spinning around, all before letting it fly and smack into any opponent on either side of him. With incredible range and above average damage, this reference to his Luigi's Mansion 3 boss fight is an excellent way to not only catch rolls, but challenge projectiles thanks to its disjointed properties. However, while that's the case, it's very slow on the recovery, meaning King Boo can potentially leave himself wide open if he's not careful. Boo's aerial attacks are designed to be very different compared to a majority of the Smash Bros. Cast, for unlike the living folk that make up the roster, Boos are mostly airborne creatures that can move through and attack in the air in ways that other enemies can't. As a result, a majority of King Boo's attacks have weird properties, including the ability to change aerial momentum, moves that alter his hurtbox, and attacks that can even create extra hitboxes once they touch the floor. This is designed to keep the opponent guessing, for nothing is scarier than the fear of the unknown. King Boo's neutral air is Boo Buddies, King Boo letting out a bellowing chuckle as he becomes surrounded in a spinning wheel of smaller Boos, these loyal subjects protecting their king and dealing damage to all nearby opponents. A reference to one of the Boo's attack patterns from the Mario series, this attack's range is quite large, and since the smaller Boos have no hurt boxes, it will be tough for opponents to trade with this move unless they're using a sword. King Boo's forward air is Boo Missile, King Boo halting his vertical momentum as he thrusts himself through the air and through his opponent, dealing above average damage and repositioning King Boo at the end of the attack. This move will cover a solid range, making it excellent for challenging an opponent's aerial approach or closing out a combo, but keep in mind that King Boo can only use this move twice before he's forced to land. King Boo's up air is Boo Wheel, King Boo flying up into the air in a circular pattern before returning to his original position at the end of the attack. This move will deal decent damage and knockback, all while pushing King Boo's hurtbox upwards as he soars. This unique aspect making it an excellent landing option and an even better short hop option thanks to its ability to pressure platforms. King Boo's back air is Royal Spinner, King Boo spinning his body horizontally in order to deal rapid damage and launch his foe away behind him. This attack is inspired by the main way Boos attack Luigi in Luigi's Mansion 3, with the attack itself being very similar to Pikachu's back air. Of course, thanks to his size and ability to reposition himself with his forward air, it could be argued that King Boo can get a lot more out of this attack than Pikachu can. Finally, King Boo's down air is Spectre Drop, King Boo dropping straight down through the air and spiking any opponent in his path. However, while it's powerful in its own right as a fast fall aerial, this move has a unique property that can only be used once King Boo hits the ground. After slamming into the stage, King Boo's body will create a shockwave that will travel along the ground, dealing extra horizontal damage that can protect the Spectre King from would-be attackers should the initial slam miss. King Boo will grab by extending his tongue forward and wrapping it around his opponent, all before pulling them into his body. The opponent will be visible through King Boo's transparent body while grabbed, and to pummel, King Boo will chew on his opponent, rocking side to side as he savors the taste of their fear. Also, it should be mentioned that King Boo's tongue grab acts as a tether and can be used to hook onto ledges. King Boo's forward and back throws will utilize his ability to spit out and control wisps, King Boo filling his body with blue tinted flame and roasting his opponent before spitting them out as a massive fireball either straight away or right behind him. These throws will deal a high amount of damage, along with the fireballs themselves damaging other opponents in King Boo's way, but their kill potential is only moderate at best. King Boo's down throw will have the Spectre King cackle as he proceeds to sink into the ground, taking the opponent into the shadows as they take rapid damage from an unknown source. After a brief moment, King Boo will spit the opponent out and cause them to bounce off the floor, King Boo then reappearing in a puff of smoke and chuckling at his accomplishment. This throw serves as King Boo's combo throw, and when sinking into the shadows, King Boo is completely immune to damage from outside sources. Finally, King Boo's up throw will have the malicious king let out his iconic laugh as his body will slowly begin to turn black and eyes start to turn a glowing yellow. After a brief moment, King Boo's body will explode violently and launch his caught opponent up into the air, all before reforming and shaking off the soot to return to his usual ghostly white color. This powerful throw is King Boo's kill throw and serves as a reference to the Bomb Boo enemies from Super Mario Galaxy. It's now time for the specials, where King Boo will utilize a mixture of abilities he's known for using throughout the Luigi's Mansion series, as well as some extra goodies that play into the Spectre King's tricky and unpredictable playstyle. King Boo's neutral special will make use of his most iconic ability from the Luigi's Mansion series, an attack that, while destructive, has seemingly been far more destructive to the Spectre King himself, as it has been the cause of his downfall in every single one of his encounters with Luigi, his trademark Spike Ball attack. Taking its appearance from the design in the original Luigi's Mansion, King Boo will pull out the titular ball as the B button is held and throw it forward once it's released, it having a similar throwing arc to Snake's underhanded grenade toss. These super heavy weapons will deal physical damage on par with Piranha Plant's Patooey, but unlike Patooey, the spike ball will not disappear once it touches the ground, it instead staying on the stage as an item that both King Boo and his opponent can interact with. Touching this ball will deal a small amount of damage and push opponents back, much like the Ynira item does once it's deployed, but that small amount of damage is the least of your concerns if you stay near this ball for too long. After a few seconds of being active on the stage, the ball will begin to glow a bright yellow, all before exploding and launching anything near it with serious force, including the one who threw it. This explosion will increase or decrease in damage depending on how far away the opponent is when the bomb detonates, going from the explosive force of a sticky bomb at point blank range to the explosive force of Toon Link's bomb when at the very edge of the explosion. As the King Boo player, it's important that you use this item to limit your opponent's mobility on the stage and force them into a position that's hard to escape from, but be sure to always keep your placement in mind, because the last thing you want is to get hit by a reflected bomb toss or by the explosion itself. In total, King Boo can have up to 2 spike balls active on the stage at any time, a reference to the maximum amount of bombs King Boo can throw at a time during his boss fights. King Boo's side special will utilize a unique ability used by Boos in Super Mario World, a unique movement pattern that seemingly has more uses than just being a roadblock for Mario. This is Boo Snake. When this move starts, King Boo will project several copies of himself forward in a predetermined direction, all before he and said images converge on the copy furthest away from King Boo's initial location. During this attack, each King Boo copy has its own hitbox that will remain active until the attack is over, leading to a move that not only covers a lot of space on the stage, but also has a lot of active frames, making it excellent for countering an opponent at the ledge or to catch neutral exchanges. However, while the area denial is a fun perk, that's only the basic form of this attack, as Boot Snake has a more devious use. While the attack is active, the player is capable of holding down the B button and tilting the analog stick in one of 5 different directions in order to have King Boo swap places with one of the copies, ending the move early and having it function as a terrifying mix-up option. Holding back on the stick will have King Boo stay at the beginning of the snake. Holding down and backwards will have King Boo swap positions with the first copy. Holding down will have him swap with the middle copy. Holding down and forward will swap with the third copy, while holding forward will have King Boo instantly swap with the copy at the far end of the snake. King Boo is also fully capable of acting out of this attack, its cooldown being very short and giving the Spectre King ample time to follow up with an aerial attack of his choosing. Of course, while it's meant to be tricky, it would be unfair if your opponent didn't at least have a chance to react to this move. So, much like Greninja's Shadow Sneak, Boo Snake's teleport has a tell that will indicate which King Boo is the real one. During his boss fight in Luigi's Mansion 3, King Boo is capable of summoning copies of himself after the first phase of the fight concludes, with the visual tell being that the clones have their eyes closed. This tell is the same for King Boo's side special. As the attack initiates, all images of King Boo will have their eyes closed, hiding the real one until the attack concludes, as right before teleporting, the eyes of the real King Boo will open and flash purple, giving his opponent a small window to react to an incoming attack. For his recovery special, King Boo will make use of a unique form of transportation introduced in Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, the Paranormal Portal. These portals are the main way ghosts travel between the paranormal dimension and the Mushroom Kingdom, with this portal in particular being a reference to the one King Boo uses to set up the game's final battle. When this move starts, King Boo will use his crown to create a glowing purple portal in front of himself, all before he rushes inside and the portal closes. After a brief moment, the portal will reappear in a location chosen by the player and King Boo will fly out and into any opponent in his path, hitting them with a full body tackle before going into a helpless state. While this might sound like a simple teleport from that description, there's more to this move than meets the eye, as not only can the player choose where the portal reappears, but they can also change the direction it faces by using the second stick on their controller, making this move the first attack in Smash Bros. History to make use of both control sticks simultaneously. With this, the player is capable of using this recovery to fake out edgeguarding opponents and catch mistakes in the neutral, but do make sure you don't leave yourself within punching distance once you reappear. So far, we have King Boo's trademark attack, a unique attack pattern utilized by his species, and an example of King Boo's power by tearing reality open to create a portal to a parallel dimension. There's just one thing that's truly missing from the kit of the Spectre King: putting genuine fear into the heart of his opponents. While his unpredictable nature might be scary to some, King Boo's down special Boo Fright will truly be a terrifying ordeal. This unique attack will have King Boo cover his face much like your typical Boo, his body slowly beginning to glow purple as the B button is held down. After charging for a set amount of time, King Boo will uncover his face and reveal his terrifying visage, stretched and exaggerated in order to scare his opponents as much as possible as he releases a short-range shockwave of pure fear. This heavily armored attack will power through most physical strikes, and if an opponent is hit by the wave of terror, they will immediately turn around and run for either 1.5 seconds or until they reach the ledge, this run being completely out of the opponent's control. That's right, this is a fear mechanic, this loss of control being the first of its kind, and will have a small icon of King Boo's face appear above the afflicted opponent's percent bar. This powerful form of CC will force the opponent to back off and give you some breathing room, and depending on the run speed of the opponent in question, this move's effectiveness will vary. Another thing to take into account is your positioning when using this move, for if it's close to a ledge, fast characters like Captain Falcon and Sonic will be able to recover and counter you before the animation concludes, as the attack doesn't end until King Boo lets out a small laugh. Also, while heavily armored and nearly impossible to trade with, King Boo will only spook enemies directly in front of him, meaning he can be hit from behind with little to no risk. Next is the final smash, and if there's one aspect of King Boo that makes the perfect finishing attack, it's his patented game over technique, placing his opponent inside a painting. It's a tactic that has worked multiple times against the likes of Mario, so why wouldn't it also work against the rest of the Smash Bros. Cast? This is good night. When the final smash starts, King Boo will pull out a blank portrait and push it out in front of him, a violet vortex extending from the frame and sucking the closest opponent into a cinematic final smash. An image of the opponent will then become imprinted on the blank canvas as the painting floats listlessly in an empty black void, all before a massive maw reaches out of the darkness, chomping down on the painting and devouring it whole. As the opponent is swallowed, the maw will smile as the rest of King Boo's body comes into view, cackling maniacally before the game transitions back to normal. This attack shares a lot of the same properties as Zelda's Triforce of Wisdom, this move also becoming an instant kill if the opponent is over 100% damage, although this move's pull radius is much larger than that of Zelda's. King Boo's victory theme is, fittingly enough, the game over theme of Luigi's Mansion 1. This quick but catchy tune truly makes it apparent that you've lost more than just a simple fight. Victory animation number 1 will have King Boo cackle and pose for the camera, all while a conga line of smaller Boos float and dance around their beloved king. Probably the nicest you'll ever see King Boo treat his fellow subjects. Victory animation number 2 will show a pitch black void, all before King Boo's gem-like glowing eyes will illuminate from the darkness. After a brief cackle, King Boo's crown will emit a glowing purple light that will light up the windscreen before he poses for the camera. Finally, victory animation number 3 will have him show off one of the paintings from his personal collection. If this is a regular victory screen, he will show off one of the main Mario cast, namely either Mario, Luigi, or Peach. But if King Boo wins with his final smash, it will instead be the painting of the opponent he just defeated. This is a reference to the game over screen of Luigi's Mansion 3. Taunt number 1 will have King Boo cover his face like a regular Boo for a brief moment, chuckling as he does so. This is not only a reference to the iconic bashful pose of a Boo that's been looked at directly, but it can also be used as a way to fake out opponents expecting a down special in its place. Truly devious, and definitely befitting the Spectre King. Taunt number 2 will have King Boo raise his arms up over his face in a wiping motion, his face then briefly changing to one of the many faces displayed by the Boos of the Mario series, ranging from Super Mario World all the way to New Super Mario Bros. U. After a brief animation, he will bring his arms back down over his face as it returns to normal. Finally, taunt number 3 will have King Boo bounce a wisp on his tongue, all before swallowing it and letting out a little cackle. Next is the colors, and for the most part, King Boo will retain his ghostly white appearance while his eyes, crown, and tongue will change color, save for a couple of exceptions. Color number 1 is King Boo's standard appearance in both Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon and Luigi's Mansion 3, featuring his usual glowing purple eyes and crown and a purple tongue. His eyes will also take on a more crystalline appearance, much like they do in Luigi's Mansion 3. Color number 2 will change King Boo's glowing eyes and crown to a crimson red, all while his tongue becomes a dull blue. These colors are a reference to King Boo's original color palette from Luigi's Mansion 1. Colors 3 through 6 are references to the other color variations for the collectible gems in Luigi's Mansion 3, with color number 3 featuring a vibrant blue crown and eyes with a red tongue, color number 4 featuring a jade green crown and eyes with a blue tongue, color number 5 featuring a snow white crown and eyes with a pink tongue, and color number 6 featuring a golden yellow crown and eyes with a green tongue. Finally, colors 7 and 8 will alter the body color of King Boo as well as his eyes, crown, and tongue. Color number 7 will change King Boo's body to a dull maroon and eyes to a glowing yellow while his tongue becomes a vibrant blue. This color is a reference to the dark Boos of the Paper Mario series, the smaller Boos also changing color to match their leader. Finally, color number 8 will have King Boo's body dyed a deep black while his eyes, crown, and teeth become a bright yellow. This is a reference to the Bomb Boos of Super Mario Galaxy, and when using up throw with this color, King Boo will slowly start to turn white as opposed to slowly turning black. Also, when Kirby absorbs King Boo, he'll gain a copy of King Boo's crown along with his creepy glowing eyes, granting Kirby access to Spike Ball. To help differentiate whose Spike Balls belong to who, Kirby's Spike Balls will be pink as opposed to King Boo's black. With Ultimate fully finished at this point, it's important for people to look to the future of what's possible in terms of potential newcomers. And while it's pretty clear-cut which third-party characters are going to be pushed for the next Smash title, Nintendo characters are a much different beast this time around. With characters like Inkling, Ridley, K. Rool, and Isabelle being in Smash already, new fan favorites are going to move up while less talked about characters are going to become more relevant in speculation circles. One of these characters, in my opinion, is King Boo. Now, King Boo has always been a moderately popular request since at least the days of Smash 4 and the release of Dark Moon, but the success of Luigi's Mansion 3 really feels like it put the Devious Spectre King on the map. While I'd argue that Waluigi and Paper Mario are the frontrunners of the Mario spin-off characters as of right now, I feel it's only a matter of time until King Boo finally gets to take on Luigi in an actual fight. Let's hope he just doesn't get grabbed. If you like what you saw, be sure to like and subscribe, and if you want to be the first one to hear about an upcoming video, click the bell icon and follow me on Twitter for updates and various other content. Also, if you're a fan of Smash Brothers and are interested in getting a custom moveset for your dream Smash character, consider becoming a member of my Patreon where, once per month, you'll receive a moveset for a character of your choice. That's all for now, so until the next time I see you, be safe, take care, and happy Halloween.